Hi everyone, and welcome back to Make It Monday with Stamp with Anna. Today we're going to make this a cute little card, and all of the cards this week actually are going to be made using this new Pocketful of Sunshine stamp set. And it's new, like I said, it's new in the 17-18 annual catalog, and it's just a fun set. It does have a coordinating pocket framelit dies, and the two of them together are bundled, I believe, for a 10% discount. And you have coordinating dies for the sunglasses, for the pocket, for the sun, for the rays, for these little symbols, almost like copyright symbols, but they're a little heart and a diamond, and the heart actually has its own little framelit, and a tag that you can make for like a pocket tag, you know, on those designer jeans that you see. So that's what we're going to use today, and we're also going to use a couple other stamp sets because I wanted this to say "You are a pocket full of sunshine." And I got the UR from the Thoughtful Banners, and then I needed a letter A, so I got that from the Labeler alphabet. It does seem like we're using an awful lot of supplies. Then we're also going to use the smallest circle, stitched circle framelit from the Stitched Shapes framelit, which I keep saying over and over again is one of the best investments you'll ever make. For paper, we need Marina Mist for our card base, and that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We need a piece of Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Then we need a good sized scrap of Whisper White, big enough to accommodate that pocket. We need another piece of Whisper White that is 3/4 inches by, I cut mine at 4 inches just because I'm going to snip it. Then we need another piece of a scrap of Whisper White, just big enough to accommodate the sunglasses. And then we need some scraps of Daffodil Delight. And I'm also using the Triple Banner Punch to make my pen in here, but you can freehand that if you'd like. So let's get started. Now I do want to mention that the technique we're going to do today is a little messy, so you do want to protect your work surface. And we're going to try to mimic jeans. Now Stampin' Up! Many years ago had a background stamp that was called Just Jeans, which was just perfect. It made a beautiful jeans impression. But I found this technique, and I think it works equally as nice. So what we're going to do is first we're going to take our card front, which is the 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to take our Marina Mist, and we're going to just swipe it down, and that's what's going to give it that textured look. Now I will tell you, when you do this technique, there is a suction there, so it is kind of hard to pull. But it works beautifully. So we just pull it down, and pull. Now you see that? That's not a problem. You just go back in and push. But I don't know if you can see just how much suction there is here. Then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to do it again on this side. There really is lots of suction here, and you do get that nice textured look of denim. Now, if you've been using your Marina Mist stamp pad a while, you probably may need to re-ink it, and you may even have to re-ink it after you're done, because this does use quite a bit of the ink, and you will get your fingers really dirty. But I think it's just such a cool technique. Okay, so there's our card front. Then we need to do the same thing on the pocket piece. I'm just going to come down. Okay, so we're going to just finish this pocket piece up. Oh. All right. And once that's done, we're going to start doing our stamping. Okay, we're going to do all of our stamping at once, and then we'll do our die cutting. So this is a photopolymer stamp set, so we do want to use our stamp mat, excuse me. So the first thing we're going to do with chocolate chip, we are going to make our pocket. And just right down there. There we go. And we're going to set that aside. Next thing we're going to do is our sun. And we're going to do Daffodil Delight on Daffodil Delight. I'm going to make the sun there. And then we're going to make, I'm going to make 2 sets of the rays because there's 5 rays. Oops, I'm going to move that. There's 5 rays in this die cut, but I wanted more than that on my project. So I'm going to stamp that twice. And next, you can also, well, I'll tell you that when we get to putting it together. Next, we're going to make the UR. So on this piece of Daffodil Delight, we're going to mount the UR from the Thoughtful Banner set. And then we're going to mount the typeset letter A from the labeler alphabet. I'm going to put that aside. Then on the strip of white paper, the 3/4 inch, before we stamp on it, we're going to punch it. Now, because this punch is made for a 1-inch piece of paper, a 2-inch piece of paper, and a 3-inch piece of paper, in order to get this even, what we're going to do is right in between, in this first little valley here, we're going to position our paper, push it all the way till it doesn't go anymore, and then we're going to just eyeball it and make sure that these 2 sides are even. And we punch it, and there's our, oh look, we make a miniature pocket. There is our perfect banner. So then with Daffodil Delight, we're going to come in with the sentiment that says Pocketful of Sunshine, which is from the Pocketful of Sunshine stamp set. And we're going to stamp that and put that aside. Now all we have left is our sunglasses. And for that, we're going to take this strip of scrap white, and I'm going to use Memento ink because I'm also going to use the Early Espresso watercolor pencil. So I'm going to ink that up really good, and I'm going to come in and stamp that. I found that the Memento made better coverage in the sunglasses. I just like that look better than the archival. So now I'm going to bring in my Early Espresso watercolor pencil, and I'm just going to fill this in. It doesn't matter if it's, do want to stay in your lines, but it doesn't matter if you can see your lines and they're not real even, because we're going to come back in with a blender pen and smoothen everything out. Okay, so now we have our blender pen, so make sure it's clean, and we're just going to run over all of the brown, and you'll see it blends it all nicely, so it gives it a smooth finish, which is what I absolutely love about these watercolor pencils. Nothing worse than coloring and you can see your lines from where you're colored, your stroke lines. So with the blender pen, with these watercolor markers, watercolor pencils, you can just go back in and everything gets a nice smooth finish. So that's all of our stamping. So now I'm going to go over to the Big Shot and I'm going to do my die cutting. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to die cut my sunglasses. I'm going to die cut my sun. Then I'm going to die cut my 2 sets of rays. And, oh, where did I put that circle? With the circle, I'm going to die cut the URA. And then with the pocket, I'm going to die cut my pocket die. I'll be right back. Okay, I have all of my pieces die cut and now we just have to put the card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some snail to my card front and I'm going to attach that to my card base. Now I'm going to attach my pocket. Now you'll notice when I die cut the pocket, it has these flaps with score lines on it. That's there because there's so much you can do with this stamp set. If you were going to make this a 3D project, you have tabs. If you were going to put this pocket on a card and actually put something substantial in there, like money or a gift card, you would apply your adhesive on those flaps so that you have a little bit of space here. But for my purposes, I need it to be pretty flat. So I'm just going to come in with a pair of paper snips and I'm carefully going to just trim those tabs off. You could do it with a paper cutter if you want, but I'm just going to do it with my snips. Which is surprising because I usually can't cut a straight line, so I shy away from cutting freehand. See, and there you go. Okay, so now I'm going to attach this pocket. I'm not going to put any adhesive along the top of the pocket. I'm just going to put it on the 2 sides and the bottom. And there's that. Now I'm going to attach my sun. Now, what I was saying is I stamped that shape of the sun there in Daffodil Delight. I could have just die cut it out and had the sun without that line, but I do like to have the look of an outline. So that's why I chose it to do it that way. And I'm going to attach this sun right towards this edge of the pocket. And the same thing with the little rays. I could have just cut out the rays with this framelit and come up with 5 different ones rather than stamping and then trying to line those up. But again, I liked the look of having rays in there. So these are very small. I would suggest working with the fine tip glue. This one that Stampin' Up! Makes is perfect. However, I forgot to close my cap last night and I clogged it. So I'm waiting to get a new cap so that I can use that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to use this Zig glue pen. And I'm going to just line those up. Now, rather than have you watch me do this 6 times, I'm going to put these on and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've put in 8 of the 10 that I die cut out because right here my sunglasses are going to be tucked in the pocket. So I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on my sunglasses and tuck them into the pocket. Right. Oops, if I can get my pocket. I'm going to just tuck those right in here. Reposition my rays floating. Okay. And then I'm just going to position this And the reason I put the rays down before I put the sunglass in, because like right here, it's more realistic to have a little bit of ray sticking out. So now I'm going to take the little circle that I die cut out. And you'll notice when I stamped it, when I cut it out, I positioned the die to the top because I really just want the top part of this circle. I want it to mimic the sun. So I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to take this piece here and just eyeball it where it's going to go. And then I'm going to cut. The reason I made this on a longer piece was because I didn't want to cut it and then not have enough to where I wanted it to be. So now I know that I need about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to run that through my paper trimmer and put that right there. And that's it. It's a cute card. It did take quite a few supplies, but I think it's a great looking card. And you know, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking I might just wink a still on my sun and my rays to make it sparkle just a little more. What do you think? Oh, I like that. Now I'm also going to do the sun part as well. And it takes just a little bit. Now we have a sparkly sun on this one. This one I'll leave like this. So I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope you will enjoy this stamp set. I really do think it's such a fun set. I bought it when the catalog first came out, and I still hadn't used it. And I said, oh, I'm going to devote a whole week of videos to this because I just think it's great. So tomorrow's video will be a Technique Tuesday. So I hope you'll come back and join me because we'll be using this stamp set again, and I'm going to show you a great technique. Thanks. Bye-bye.